Kick it in the guts, Barry.
She's the last of the V8s.
Shut the gate on this one, Maxie. It's the duck's guts.
Yeah, she's the last of the V8. She sucks nitro. Base 4 head. Twin overhead cam. 600 horsepower through the wheel. With the blower.
With the blower.
Oh, she's meanness, but the music and the bitch is gone too low.
He's in a coma, man. Loves it.
G'day guys, how are we? Welcome to part 11. I tell you what, with the 144 in it, it won't even be the last of the 6-cylinder interceptors. She ain't going to be no powerhouse, but it's not what the car's about anyway. Let's thanks for the comments and that again. It's great, thank you guys. Let's look straight in and get stuck into this. Well, finally guys, I tell you, it's been like trying to pull teeth. To get the correct wheel cylinders for this thing, but I think we're finally on it this time. They look correct. Yeah, seem to fit. I haven't put them in yet, obviously, but because I've got all the linings and that, as you know, the drums have all been done. They're just sitting in there. That can be spread apart to put the cylinder in. And I've got the flexible hoses. That means that I can put all the brakes back together, all the drums on, all the plumbing, all the hard lines. That means that basically just about that is the mechanicals of the underneath done, with the exception of the engine and exhaust and the motor's last, as you know. That's all the mechanicals done underneath. I can't. Oh, and I've got to run a hard line for the fuel. I'll run a hard line. That's where it comes out originally, just behind the seat. I might try and blend it in here. It's got to get up to around here somewhere. We'll get to that anyway. No panic on that. But I finally got me brake wheel cylinders and also the retaining clips for the flexible lines. So and they were from Wild Ride 2020 on eBay, and they even send you a little lolly. So thanks to those guys, legends. And these are from, I'll do it free advertising, I don't care. Fishop Falcons, F-I-S-H-O-P, Fishop Falcons. They're on the web from South Australia. John, I think his name is, nice bloke. So between wheel cylinders, clips, got all the springs and shit, as you know. Got the flexible lines, as you know. There's no reason, drums are done, new drums on the back. There's no reason why these the entire brake system, with exception of the master cylinder, and that's only because I want to clean up the firewall. I've done the pedals, I've got the master cylinder. Geez, that's mechanicals just about on the head. Well guys, driver's side front assembled. Now the springs are two different colours. I don't know if they're the right way around. That green is tighter than the yellow. I don't know if they're meant to be the other way around or what. I wouldn't have a clue, but I'll put them all the same and see what happens. Flexible lines on, it just does up. Can you see that in there? Not really. Just sort, there it is there. Just sort of does up with a spanner in the back with a copper washer to seal it. Put it in that bracket. I just put new clips on it, so that's really tight. Hard line can be run down through that hole, down into there. So that's on. So we can put the drum on that's freshly machined with our new wheel bearings and do the preload, and that should be done bar adjustment and bleeding. Passenger side rear is on. That's that equalising arm that I had to make. Fitted in beautifully. Well, I suppose it should. It's the same as an original one. Once again, green to the front, yellow to the rear. I don't know if that's right. Yeah, don't know. I'll see what I can find out. Anyway, the cylinder fits, it's in, tight. So that's ready for the drum to go on. Oh, I've got to paint the drums because I'm out of black paint. And then that's that wheel done. We'll put the other side on, and we can start on our hard lines. That's the hard line for the left-hand rear. Out of the wheel cylinder, obviously, and across to that little T-piece where the flexible hose lines up. Seems to be all right. This one's a little bit more complicated. We've got to come out, up and over, down into that clamp, across and then up on a bit of a diagonal. There's a bit of a funny bend in it. We'll see how we go. But that come up all right. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. It's no bloody better or worse than Ford done. Hopefully it won't, no leaks. It seemed to pull up all right. We'll find out when we start pumping a bit of bloody fluid through it. And there's the driver's side line. Come across, use the factory clamp, curled up and over the diff and into that T-piece. It's not too bad. I mean, it's better than what was there. Continuing work on the brakes, guys. We've got a new master cylinder. I think I told you I picked one up. So we can put the old push rod in, the brake light switch and that T-piece fitting. The brake light switch, to test them, I just put a multimeter across the two poles or the 2 points. I think I put the multimeter, I think it's resistance. So if you touch the two probes of the multimeter, the buzzer goes off. And just blow a bit of compressed air in the back, and that simulates hydraulic pressure, and the multimeter beeps. So, yeah, so the switch is working all right. This has got to go in now because I want to do the rest of the hard lines. Now, I need that to finish them. So the pedal box has got to go in. So what we've done is, it's going to be a bit hard to see. I've cleaned up all under there, sprayed down a heap of the black shit. So that hole there is where the pedal assembly bolts up and the push rod comes through for the master cylinder. So we can put that up. We can put that all together once the shit's dry. Made the line out of the T-piece to the left-hand front wheel. That come up really nice. And that just goes down to your flexible hose. So that come up good. Yeah, now actually going to, I've had questions from viewers and comments from viewers. Sorry, here goes my camera work again. Let's go back a couple of videos, and I mentioned that I wanted to paint the vertical bars in the grill. Well, I've done a test sample. As you can see there, it's just flat black. But a few of the guys mentioned paint the radiator support panel flat black, and I said, yeah, I agree. And I always thought, yeah, that was a good idea, but they convinced me. But I didn't pull the grill because I'm too bloody lazy, but I managed to get a rattle can in there and get the black done. You don't see that bit because the bonnet line comes down to along there. But you sort of get, the idea is those are being done and that hasn't. So you sort of get the effect of what it will look like with those blacked in with just matte black. And it's just a mild custom look. But yeah, I weakened and I thought, yeah, the feedback on YouTube was correct. It was just my laziness. But so yeah, so that's it. Another guy mentioned about powder coating, and what happens there is, number one, you need an oven to do it and all of that. Yeah, so I've just got a normal household oven, but I bought an applicator kit from Eastwood. It's an American thing, and I'm not going to go into huge details about how to do it. There's really good videos on YouTube, but I've got me powders and all that sort of stuff, and there's an applicator kit. You clean up your part spotless, hook up that. It's just a one wire to the metal part, and then when you're ready to do it, you just push the button and pull the trigger, and the air blows the dust out and it sticks to it, and then you just put the part in the oven. But like any painting, it's all about preparation. But I think the whole kit was about $300 or $400, and you get a real good quality out of it. With the master cylinder in, I can run the other hard line across to that T. So I haven't done the flares yet. I just put the nuts in so you can sit the pipe in and get an idea of the look. So we come out of the master cylinder, bend back, then we'll be able to clamp it to the firewall, drop down. You've sort of got to allow for any clearances there might be too, cables, accelerator linkages, all that sort of. You've got to sort of try and think about the whole picture. And I think we're all right. So yeah, it comes out across and into that T-piece. So that'll feed the back and the left-hand front. Leaves one more hard line to come out of there and down. I don't know if you can see that hole there. That goes through and into the flexible hose. Just a little short piece. And that would be the hard lines done. Yeah, they weren't too painful at all. And that's our brake hard lines done. This is the driver's side front, obviously. Worked out all right. Got a bit of clearance around the hole. Fitted up nice. Got the bends pretty close. There should be no interference. That is the brakes plumbed. In effect, I could put fluid in it now and start bleeding out the system if I wanted to. Well, as you can see, guys, the steering column's in and the shift levers are hooked up. Haven't put the rubber in place yet. I've also got to put the clutch rod back in and the push rod for the clutch, but the column's back in. Yeah, and the pedal sets, oh, you can't really bloody see shit under there, but all that's in. Feels fine, you know, sort of, yeah, whatever. And indicators appear to be doing the indicator thing. They're self-cancelling. Trouble is, the moment you touch it, it flicks back. Yeah, it's very sensitive in it, but it does work nonetheless. So that's there. Yeah, we're getting there. Sort of between jobs again, guys, and I thought I'd have a look at a job that I know is going to be a little bit of a problem. Not a problem, but has to be fixed. The wiper arms. As I said, this thing had originally vacuum wiper. Someone's changed it to electrical, which is good. But that's why they moved the switch right over to the left-hand side, because it never actually had an electrical switch. That's what I couldn't figure why someone would move it. Anyway, so we're looking at the linkage, and that spindle seems fine, seems to turn okay. That's all good. It's got a little bit of wear on that spline, but I think we'll get away with it. This one, on the other hand, this spindle was totally seized, very seized. And also, if you look, there's a pin in there now. I've done the repair. That spline was just spinning around. So the wiper would never have worked. So what I've done very carefully is drilled for a roll pin. Now I drilled a 3mm hole for a 3.5mm roll pin. Is that in focus? Sorry, that's better. Went in and it's really solid. I've also drilled a little hole in the side of that housing, just through the aluminium, not through the shaft. So I could get a heap of brake cleaner and oil and all that shit in there. Now that's rotating quite freely. So that's why the bloody, this was all flogged out, because someone's tried to force it and they've broke it. So we should be all right. The little retainers, I've just given them a quick little polish and just cut new gaskets out of cork. No big deal. That's the old original gasket, of which I only had one. Just cut them out of cork. They'll be fine. Now the wiper motor, get rid of that. Now, this does work. I've played around with this and it does work, but it's because it's a 2-speed. I don't know if the 2-speed works from the switch like a resistance thing, or it's in the motor. I don't know, but mucking around with wires and that, I'll get one speed to work, and if I try the other speed, it sort of almost, like it tries to go, it goes backwards, but very slowly. I don't know what's going on. I may have to get this sent off to, I've found a guy in that restoration magazine that you see down in the bloody newsagents all the time. He does rewinds motors and fix wiper motors and all that shit. I may have to send it off to him, get him to have a look at it. But yeah, we got those, the wiper arms or wiper linkages actually freed up and working. So that's a good start. I may have just wired the motor wrong. I've only been mucking around just putting power to various wires, you know. We'll see what happens. I'll have another bit of a play and see what we can find out. Well, trial and error, guys. Remember how I told you that the thing was spinning backwards? Well, it does. That's your low-speed wire. Now, look, out of the factory, it's probably that yellow one. The two reds are earth, so I've got that hooked up to earth. So if I hook this to 12 volts, we get that. Now, if I hook that, oh shit, look out, we're live. If I hook that one to 12 volts, it goes backwards. But if I, hang on a minute, and I've sort of got to try and do this one-handed to show you, if I get that and that and put those two together, hang on a minute, I might see if I can do this. If I put those two together, listen to the difference. That's single speed. Put them together. That gives us our second speed. You can clearly hear the difference. Yeah, I don't know, but that seems to give me a second speed by having those two together. And that must happen in the switch. Somehow, I don't know how. That must happen in the switch, and that gives us our second speed. So I would suggest that while this is filthy, I'll clean it up. I would suggest this motor assembly is all right. So it means I don't have to send it off. Bit hard to see under here, guys. Steering column's in, got all that rubber in and all of that. And if you look up there, the wiper motor assembly's in and seems to work all right when you hook up a bit of power. Pedals are all in, as you know. Might just touch that up with a little bit of flat black and she's done. Tail lights are in, guys. Well, the housing anyway. I think I've worked out what I can do with the indicators and that. Yeah, anyway, so they've gone in all right. I got new rubber seals for the, rubber gaskets, but there's a little bit of a difference. If you look there, see how that panel's sort of sticking out a little bit from the seal, and this one's sort of the other way. Now, that's obviously because that was all dinted in. If I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't notice. And that's the one that was beaten up pretty bad. It looks a little bit dicky, but I mean, as long as the glass is all right, that'll pass. And I mean, it's not like it's a show quality car, a little few imperfections. Ain't gonna matter too much, but yeah, it's sort of starting to get there. Accelerator pedals in, guys, which is that one. Now, I bought a reproduction rubber, and it just feels like a bit of felt hose. Now, there was no way known it's going in the hole, and I don't like the way it's sitting, so I'm either I've done something wrong or it's not quite right. It is a reproduction. Like there was just no way known it was going through the hole, not a hope in hell, unless I've done something wrong. Anyway, besides that, we've put our gear shift back in. I've got a new insulating rubber in there, and we have three forward and one reverse. So yeah, we've got the columns done, and we have gears. So yeah, we're getting there. Tell you what, guys, time flies as you get old. Here we are, Easter Friday, 2025. It's fairly mild out, actually. I'm just burning off a bit of rubbish. We bought a battery, so we're just powder coating our clamp, our cradle, which is in the oven, just cooling off. So there's that. I missed a little bit anyway. I'll touch it up with a bit of gloss black. And that can be bolted in to our spot there, which you've seen. Just made a little clamp out of aluminium and just bought some of those universal bolts. So that'll pull that down all right. So that's okay. What else are we doing? Got a little El Cheapo, super cheap washer kit. This is all obviously stuff that has to be there for roadworthy. And the other thing I've done is I finished the floor. I patched up any spare holes with a bit of fiberglass. Come up a treat, yeah, come up really good. So basically, short of putting a bit of polish on the dash and that, and of course that's patina as well, we are near the stage of, well, basically anything that goes inside now is the finished product. So in effect, I mean, we could put underlaying carpet in that now. and put the seats in. It's just a matter of getting the stuff. I'm not going to be able to get anything over Easter, obviously. Still waiting on mag wheels and tyres. I mean, I thought it was hard getting wheel cylinders. To try and get a set of Craig R mags is like pulling teeth, yet they're available, but no one seems to want to take me money. You work it out, because I can't. I've been at the guy time and time again to put the order through and just invoice me and I'll pay him straight away. But no one's interested in taking me money. Can't believe it. Anyway, yeah, so floor's done. We're just sort of scratching around with parts, but... and I've got to run that hard fuel line too, but yeah, that'll be just about ready to take out of the oven. And I'll show you that and we can put it in. One battery installed. Yeah, come up all right. Yeah, seems to be sitting quite solid and all of that. So, yeah, just getting ready. I have ordered a wiring loom, as I think I said. So, yeah, earth off to the motor, one to the body, down to the starter, so on and so on and so on. And we'll have power. So that seems to be all right. It's quite solid. What's next? Screwing around with bits and pieces. 4 rubber grommets in the floor pan. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just cleaned them up and put them back in. Washer. Sorry, get rid of that light. Windscreen. Good on you. Windscreen washer button. Cigarette lighter choke. And I found an old taco. That's not mounted, that's just sitting there. Yeah, found an old taco. Just cleaned it up, I think it works. And we'll stuck on bloody 500 revs already. It should, it used to work. Cleaned it up a bit and I'll bloody bolt it to the dash there and you know, I should be able to see when I'm doing a massive 2000 RPM out of this motor. Running a hard fuel line, guys. I'll start here and then I'll lift it up and show you what I've done underneath. I've just used some an aluminium-y sort of pipe. Come up through the inner guard there, that'll hook onto there. Like so, I've got to get some hose clamps. Yeah, so I've got, yeah, come up through there. That's me pick up down there and that'll just go onto the sender like so. Well out of the way. I'll show you what I'll lift it up and show you what I've done underneath. We've come out of the tank. I put a rubber grommet in there and we've matched up with this chassis rail, but I've tried to keep it above it just for extra protection. So run that up. I've kinked that up over where that cross member goes. I could have gone straight, but just in case anyone wants to use that as a jacking point or a hoist point. And then come up and up through the firewall there to the filter. I've just put that split loom on there just as a bit of extra protection from shit off the tyres, you know. But that should be all right. It's up and out of the way and appears to be fairly tidy. Going to muck about with a few bits of interior trim. Well, that grille has got to be not necessarily painted, but cleaned up a bit. These A-pillar mouldings, they've got bloody Celastic and shit all. I've just given that a quick wash, but needs a lot more work, as you can see. Yeah, we'll clean them up, give them a coat of either gloss or fucking flat, I don't know yet. And those B-pillar mouldings got to be cleaned up as well. Yeah, no, basically just, they're pretty right. Just basically paint and clean them up and set them on, I think. Don't know if my thinking's right here, guys, but anyway, we're going to go with it. These A-pillar mouldings, as I just said, I was going to clean them up and paint them, and I thought, well, hang on. If I paint them, it's going to start getting away from the theme of a well-worn car. I thought I'll just buff them up, get them smooth, rub them back a little bit so they look a bit worn, and put a heap of that anchor wax on them to stop the rust and give it a bit of a shine. And I thought, yeah, they'll look all right. I mean, it's, you know, from the scope of things, you know, like looking at the dashboard, it's going to look odd with a rough dash and beautiful painted A-pillar mouldings. So the only thing that'll be new up there is obviously the roof lining, and the sun visors have got to be done. But those B-pillar mouldings, I'll just rub back. I won't bother painting. It'll just be a few of the bits of trim that sort of look new. The rest is going to be, I don't know, look, I could be totally wrong in me thinking, but I'm going to leave them patinaed, I think. I just think it'll match a bit better. Guys, these are, well actually this is the passenger side. What these are, they're actually a fresh air vent, and they go up under the plenum chamber there, sort of in that area. There's a big open circle and they bolt up in it. And when you open the little door, you get like heaps of air through them, like really good air. I've just cleaned this up and painted it, and I'll put some foam on that edge and on the top edge around there, and that seals them up and you won't get wind noise and that sort of crap. But they're actually really good vents. I mean, that is right up to the date stuff for 1963, that is. But no, they had these in the XKLMP series. They disappeared in XR, I think, from memory. Could be wrong, but I don't think they were abandoned after that. I could be wrong. But yeah, no, she'd be right. I'll just give the door a sandblast and all that seems to work. The rest is all right. That's the outlet that goes through to your heater box if you had the optional heater. So that's your fresh air inlet to, to go through your heater core. That's plugged off, obviously, because this was a poverty pack, so it had very little bloody options in it. Just looking in through the glove box there, guys, that's our sort of foot vent. When you're putting them in, as I say, you have to put a bit of sealer up in there or you're going to get a wind noise. Also make sure that they're seated properly home. There's a little locating notch that squares it all in position and all that. If you don't get it sitting nice and flush, like that is, you are going to get all sorts of wind noises and drafts. So they're not hard to do. You just sort of got to, make sure you get it all lined up. Bit hard to see, and that's your little vent there. But yeah, they're handy little vents. They're great things. New toys time, guys. Just got me wiring loom. A few of you have probably used these before, all pre-wired and all of that. All the wires are labelled, for example, left rear turn, third brake. Well, I'm not even having a third brake light. This is a 12 circuit. So I don't need that many circuits. It's just basic lighting, ignition, wipers. That's about it, really. So I think indicators and all that sort of stuff are pre-wired. Headlights. I think there's a horn relay in there, which that is. And I think, there's plugs and connectors and all sorts of jazz here. Looks like a circuit breaker there. Grommets, all that. I have used these, I don't know about this particular brand. I've used the painless wiring kits and they're really good. But this is probably a Chinese rip-off. I don't know. But we're going to give it a go. I mean, look, it's only 12 circuits. I mean, it's basic wiring. I do know an electrician if I get a bit caught out. So, yeah, we'll have a bit of a go at it and see what happens. And, yeah, if I burn the car down, well, we know I got it all wrong. Nothing better than getting new toys, guys. A lot of these parts I've been waiting for ages. New ignition switch. So the bezel, that cup that goes over there, and the switch. And in there is the barrel. So that's it. They're the escutcheons for the behind the door handles. There's me 2 new door locks. Hopefully they bloody well fit. With a bit of luck, we're going to find out. Me tail lights, just new glass, and there. You can't get the original orange ones, but you can get these, and these are from America, and they fit nicely in there, and you just use an orange globe, which I've got. New interior light and bezel, because that's all missing. What else have we got here? But these I've been waiting for ages. Brand new handbrake cables, front and rear, and the rubber kit as well. So, yeah, we can get a lot done here. Certainly looks like the right parts. That's your front, obviously, because it's got the rubbers that go through the chassis. So that should be all right. That's your rear. Yeah, good. And there's the rubber kit. Yeah, well, there's all sorts of shit in the rubber kit. So, yeah, good stuff. We've got a heap of parts, and as you know, I've got the wiring loom. So we might start by finishing off the tail light. So we'll have a look at how these go and go from there. We have tail lights. Actually come up pretty good. They don't look too bad at all. Yeah, they're in and done. A little bit fiddly to do the middle bit. You sort of need about 3 hands to do it. But they're in, they're working, everything fits nice. Nice bright orange for the indicator. And the stop and tails are working, so sort of a funny angle here, but you get an idea of the back of the car. Screwing around with handbrake cables, guys. Got the front one in, no worries, no big secrets. Yeah, put that through, put new clips in there. It's the activating. This bloody thing here, the threads are a bit... I noticed it when I was cleaning it up. I thought, oh, they might be all right. No, the bloody... the threads are pulled and I can't get enough tension on the cable to activate the fucking brakes. So anyway, they're all clipped up, ready to go. They fit all right. These were probably slightly short than what they could be, but I got them on. And of course, they're all hooked up in the, hang on a sec, I'll take the drum off. They're all hooked up in there, as you can see. Yeah, get the adjustment right and all that, and then do your handbrake. But yeah, and I have to change that little push rod or pull rod, whatever you call the thing. The rear roof finishing rubber's on, that's easy. Just clip straight over that lip that's there. I've just put some of that wax on that. So let it soak in a bit. Then you put your little retaining clips, whatever you want to call them on. Don't ever throw these away. I don't think you'll ever bloody get them again. Very hard to get, I'm told. So I'm lucky I've got both of these, and yeah, it just clips up in there and just finishes that edge. Yeah, it just sort of looks a little bit more complete, you know. Now that we have our rubber kit, we are going to start putting these doors back together. I've already put the door handle in on this one. Pretty straightforward. It's only 2 screws, one there and one, you might be able to see, just make it out up in there. Pretty straightforward. Cleaned up all the door latch and lock assembly. That can all go in as one complete hit. Cleaned it right out. I'm just going to put a bit of oil on the mechanisms. And that can go in. Pretty easy, just line up your lock rod there with that hole. Yeah, no real huge secrets in any of this. Door latch assemblies in, just 1, 2, 3. Put your lock rod, whatever you want to call it, through the hole. I'll put a knob on that in a minute. And your door handle up in there. There's an adjustment on that way. I just sort of put it roughly in the middle. We can always move it later if things aren't working. And that screw there's a rod that goes from there to there. That screw there's got a little clamp on it. It's just holds the rod in place. It's just an anti-rattle sort of a thing, I think. Door locks. Yeah, there's our well, there's the part number. Pretty sure these won't fit XKXL. They had an oval type lock, and I think the hole in the door is different. This door is XMXP. Anyway, I bought the locks to suit that. Initial inspection sees that obviously the linkages are different. That's the old one, and that's the new one. But looking at the back, they've got a circlip holding those brackets on. I'm hoping that I can take that off and swap them over, and we'll be all right. And also the retaining clips are slightly different. Doesn't mean they won't work, just slightly different. We'll have a look at that. But yeah, first thing we're going to do is we'll attempt to, the holes look the same size and all of that, so we'll attempt to swap them over. So here we go. Quarter vent windows. Terrific bloody things. We used to call them cigarette windows years ago. I mean, they've had all sorts of names. Got new rubber seals, should have come in the kit for that. And that part as well, I think, comes new, which is one of these long things. I don't know if there's a left and right. Hang on. XK to XP. Upright Bailey channel. That's that one. I'm presuming there's two. Should be two. Better be bloody two. Or is there two in the packet? Sorry, there's two in the packet. Duh. So that replaces that, obviously, with the Bailey channel in it. And you get a new seal there, that one, which is pretty well fried. So we'll just take this apart a little bit. I have done these before. There's no big secrets in them. You just got to take a little bit of care with them. But anyway, we'll pull it apart, clean everything up. I'll have to drill those rivets in there, if you can see them, and transfer that bit over. There's no, as I say, I've done these before. There's no huge big secret in them. We'll just go through it slowly and see what we come up with. Cleaned up the frame just with a bit of polishing and that, and the buff and that. So on and so on. I cleaned out along that face in there. That one there. There is actually a rubber seal that goes in there. It doesn't come in the kit, I don't think. It's riveted on that strip. I've had these before. I think you have to actually buy them separate from the kit. Trouble with that is, looking at that, the rivets will butt in to that piece that we've just put in. So you'd like to put those seals in, but you probably have to be able to get it the other side. Anyway, we'll see how we go. If it's going to whistle and carry on, I'll have to replace them, but we'll see how we go. And I don't think you can get them in that form anymore. Anyway, what we're going to do now is, this is our old one, we're going to get our new seal and see how it fits. And go from there. Oh, now this bracket on the end, we just ground the rivets on the old one, and I just tack welded the bracket onto the new one. Just a tack. You've got to be very quick because you've got your felt in there and you don't want to focus. That's better. You've got your felt in there, you don't want to melt all that. So I just did a little tack and it seems to have held. I'll just put a bit of that rust treatment shit on it, and that should be fine. There's an adjustment on this as well. That's on the other part in the door. So that's basically that channel done. As I say, we'll see how we go with those, with that weather strip in there. I don't know. I might be able to get away with a glue. We'll see how we go with that. Might be able to do something else. Anyway, we'll keep going. Well, for all the bullshit I just gave you, ignore that. They give you those little, I was telling you about those weather strips, they actually give you them in the kit, and you can see there, they've got those little rivets, you can just make them out just there. Anyway, I'll show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that back out. That just slides in and out, and then I can get in and do those rivets from behind. And that'll put that nice seal on that edge. So yeah, that's good. I didn't realise they actually, I knew the big rubbers come, but I didn't know the little ones did. So that's a bloody bonus. That's cheered me up. That seal's in, guys. Glad I got that in the kit, like I said. You can see rivets 1, 2, 3, 4. All I did, I haven't got a proper riveting tool, but not for those sorts of rivets, and you can see they're just bent over. A bit of focus. What do we got there? There we go. Just bent over, peened over in the back. All I did was I got a bit of 10mm square, put that there, put the rivet in place, put that there, and then just clamped it off. And then so that acts like an anvil. You've got to clamp it sort of pretty tight, and then you can just tap them over. They're only brass. Work the treat. So that acts as a little anvil. I don't have the proper tool. it seemed to work all right, and they're quite, I mean, there's no real load on it. When the wind is shut, it holds it all in place. Yeah, so, I mean, as I say, it's not a massive load, but yeah, right, now we can put that bit of channel back in and keep going. Quarter vent seals in. Goes in pretty easy. Bit of that stuff. Works a treat with rubber components. You can it'll just clip right in, and it's sitting there really well. Yeah, we're all right here. We'll clean up that window now. That can go in, and then that piece is just about basically done and can go in. But yeah, the seal seems to fit pretty well. That's that company. Not this actual company where I got them, but they probably get supplied by a company called Dennis Carpenter. And I think they do rubber components. I don't know if they do just Ford, but I've used their stuff before, their reproduction stuff, and it works pretty well. That's a quarter window done, guys. Yeah, brand new seal. Took a little bit of bending and pushing and shoving. I think what the go is get it in and lined up, and close it. That pulls it pretty tight, and then let the rubber seat for, you know, a few bloody days. I might even have to spray a heap of that on it just to help it. It does work. It's just pretty tight on the new rubbers. But I think it just wants to settle in a little bit. Anyway, it went in all right. Glass cleaned up okay. So that piece is basically done for the driver's door. So that can just about go in, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's anything stopping that from going in now. Door is reassembled, except for the door seal and the armrest, which is just out there on the bloody thing, just drying. I've just given it a lick of paint. It was pretty sad. Trim went on all right. Windows working beautifully. A little bit fiddly to put in, not too hard. These little weather strips are actually more fiddly. I seem to remember I had a prick of a time with them last time. Anyway, come up all right. Doors all working. Windows winding nicely. All new Bailey channels. So it won't be watertight, of course, but it'll be reasonably weatherproof. But door looks good. Yeah, as I say, we're going to attempt this weather strip now. It has got a moulded corner. There's the seal just there. It has got a moulded corner, so you start there. I've just cleaned all this with isopropyl alcohol, so it's got to be clean. And the glue I've bought says, put the glue on both surfaces, wait 20 minutes till it's sort of tacky, touch dry, and then put it on, and then it joins there and then. We're going to see. Bloody glue and seals, I reckon, is a prick of a thing. But anyway, we're going to find out. Sorry, guys, lost a few videos on the door reassembly there. No huge secrets in it. I'll catch up on it on the next door, but that's part 11. See you in the next one.